Guys, our result, our findings after the experiment, after I'm adding these substances into the water. So our sugar, look at the sugar. So it disappeared. So if the sugar disappeared into the water, so it means it is dissolved in water. How about this baby powder? Look at the baby powder. There is a top bubbles on it, while at the bottom it settled down at the bottom. So if it settled down at the bottom, it means it doesn't dissolve in the water. How about the salt? Look at the salt. Look at the salt. So I didn't see any salt on it. So if it is gone into the water, it means it is dissolved in water. How about the flour? The flour, I found it that I told you before because I did it before. It settled down at the bottom. So if the flour settled down at the bottom, so it means it doesn't dissolve in the water. So let's see our observation on it. Let's see what's the difference between four of them. So we're here, the sugar dissolved in water and also the salt. So they are all transparent in color. They are all clear in color, but the difference between the sugar and the salt, the sugar is more clear than the salt. Look at the differences. It's so clear, right? This is the sugar. Well, this one is the salt. So it's not so clear. The sugar is more clear than the salt. How about this one? The difference between the baby powder and also the flour. They are both not dissolving in water, the baby powder and the flour. But the difference in it, there are bubbles on top on it in the baby powder. Look, there are bubbles. But in the flour, there are no bubbles on it. But they are the same. They are settled down at the bottom. Look at the baby powder and also the flour. So they are the same. They are settled down at the bottom, but the difference between both of them, only the bubbles. The baby powder has the bubbles on the top on it, but the flour doesn't have. So that's the result of my experiment. So let's proceed to the conclusion. Alright, here we are, our table discussion. And our table 1 is sugar, which is our substance. And the appearance of sugar, it looks like a crystalline, and its texture, it has a coarse texture. And when we added sugar into the water and stir it, the result is the number of phases has one phase only, and it's clear and transparent in color, and it has uniform. So based on my table findings through my experiments, sugar dissolves in water. Table 2, which is the baby powder, is our substance. Its appearance is powdery and has a dry texture, and when you faces white or cloudy color, and it's not uniform. Based off my findings on my experiment, the baby powder looks like dissolving in water after stirring in it, but later on, after a minute, it settled down at the bottom of the glass of water, and there are bubbles at the top of the water. So baby powder doesn't dissolve in water.